Ghana.
I want to talk to them.
Marcella, yeah,
she not here today.
Yeah, she probably over there now.
Yeah, she probably ain't Ghana. But I got a shirt on under here that she brought back from Ghana.
No, I love it.
It's
I love it.
Okay, we live on YouTube, so don't say nothing bad about nobody. You don't want them to know about what you say.
Yeah, so we go. This how we do it.
Yes,
so
sir.
this is the behind the scenes right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the behind the scenes for YouTube, and they can actually see how we produce a radio show. Then on Saturday and Sunday, the actual radio show that's edited comes out on 96.3 HD4 from 5 to 6.
With the music.
So with the music, the songs you want to choose, and so everything. So right now we're gonna play it, but you'll actually see it. You'll hear it.
Yeah, you'll hear it. You'll hear it. Even though we do a actual video, we have a show put together, but the one you'll hear on HUR is this with the music added into it.
What time?
5 to 6 p.m.
On
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
And you can check us out on SoundCloud.
Tell them, Troy, run it down.
You
Let them know.
You can check us out on SoundCloud. We got our own station on SoundCloud too. They have all the episodes from 1 through 25.
Damn, we got 25 shows?
Y'all got 25 shows?
Actually, we got 27 shows, but to get people to listen to it on the radio, they upload the newer shows later.
I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I love it.
We grind. We about to have fun today.
Oh, we gonna have some real fun today.
Big fun.
Big fun. And we gonna
sit right beside him. I'm glad I ain't say nothing crazy.
We literally talked that whole time.
I think Shane got a stand. Shane, you got that phone stand? He said, "Oh, here you go."
Oh, we see it right in front of us.
I'm sorry, I did not see it.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
All right, so
Miss Jasmine, yeah, so you from Queens?
Yep, originally
Okay.
South Jamaica, Queens.
South Jamaica.
Merritt Boulevard and 108th Avenue.
Yeah. We love Jamaica. I do.
All day. All day.
Yeah, some great artists came from out of there.
Amazing artists, and that's what gave me like, wow, hip hop.
Some
Okay.
people say that the greatest MCs came from out of there.
I'm not gonna be the one to deny the facts, but that's the truth, and that's just what gave me the inspiration to be like, I can make a life out of this.
I know, that's crazy. That's
crazy.
You got to see
That
it.
is.
So yeah, we're gonna get into.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into all that. All right, Shay, we ready for you. Matter of fact, what's your banger?
You need me to move over? Is Annie up or which one?
Annie up by MOP. Let's go.
We love that song in this show.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, we get hype on that one.
You need me to move over more?
Do you like the remix or do you like the regular version?
Either one, go
Okay.
I'm
hard.
the same way. I like them both. More?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hold up. He trying to get us in the.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just.
Oh yeah, we done played that. I don't know how many times in this show.
I can imagine.
Played the
Love Annie
remix, the original.
To this day, though, like it's a timeless record.
Now they got it on Thursday Night Football. The NFL.
Sure they do.
Do they?
Sure they
NFL
do.
licensed
Yep.
it.
Amazon Prime.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, now I gotta go watch it. Congratulations, MOP. That's so
I'm
dope.
hoping they own
Yeah.
it.
I'm praying.
Yeah. Oh, now that side of the business is tricky, huh?
Yeah.
That's what we
We've
gonna
learned a lot of lessons, actively after.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah, because that's a big song.
That song is, I love it. I love it.
Because I want to say it's on Grand Theft Auto and all kind of
Said
stuff.
don't lean forward too much. So what's that?
Oh, that's you. Not you. You good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So about right here.
Yeah.
So we'll get this show done. We'll probably try to get this show out for next Saturday. Not this Saturday coming up. The following Saturday.
Please send me the link and remind me. Please.
Absolutely. I'll send you the audio and the video files so you can have the
That would be
completed show.
super awesome.
And then you can chop it up.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not a doctor yet, but thank you so much. I'm hustling.
We making you.
Hustling. Speaking, I accept the
we keep
prophecy.
making you a doctor.
Yeah.
Professor's good. I decided to finally go back and finish my PhD, so hopefully.
Okay,
hopefully.
PhD. Dang, so you got your master's right now.
Yes, sir, professor.
Okay.
But I'll take the doctor, but I'm trying to earn it.
Well,
Okay.
You the doctor in the corridor today.
Thank you. I ain't mad. I'll take that.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna hold that.
Yeah,
Thank
you
y'all.
Doc up in here for sure.
We gonna do our intro, and then
Okay.
usually Dion kick it off, and I
Alright.
say 96.3 HD4.
And then we say,
Are you switching them?
okay, so who talking first? Troy can kick it
I
off.
can kick it off.
Troy, I'm kicking it off.
Yeah.
Troy got the voice, man. That's the golden voice right there.
Oh man, I got to do me a sound check. What do they call it on radio? Air check.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I can make some money.
Yeah, we need that.
Every time.
Every time.
I be like
time.
every line.
You sound so Queens, though. I know people from Queens. You sound just like them, man. Yeah. Troy tripping.
Let's do it
Troy,
again.
Troy offsides.
Let's do it again. I don't know what I was thinking about.
He needs
I'm looking at Dion like,
like, dude.
I love y'all energy.
welcome to the Hip Hop Corridor.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening?
Oh man, today,
Hold up. I'm Dove,
and I'm Troy
and welcome to the Hip Hop Corridor.
on 96.3 HD4.
And tell us what's happening today, baby.
You see, I'm excited because I done jumped the intro.
Jump the intro. You gotta let them know we in
Man,
here.
what? So today we got a special guest in the corridor.
Okay.
I mean, we got somebody that we could say helped build the foundation of a lot of stuff we listen to today.
Yeah.
A lot of the artists that we got love for today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She is a professor right now. I'm
Right.
gonna start here and I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
She's a professor
Yep.
at Howard University, Warner School of Music and
Yes.
Business, the Blavatnik. I wanted to make sure I got that right.
You said it right.
All
sir.
right,
Thank
okay.
you.
Vlavlatnik. I think I
Now
messed
I'm
it
messing
up.
up.
The Blavatnik.
The Blavatnik School for Music Business.
All right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We got Professor. We like to call her doctor. She the doctor of the corridor today.
Yes,
So
indeed.
soon.
Professor Jasmine Young.
Yay.
I am so happy to be here. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, man.
This is a party up in here.
It is a
we
party.
we getting it going.
Yeah.
We
Oh
about to
my
get it
gosh.
going.
Thank you for having me.
Now, usually our guests, we let them pick the banger to start the show off.
Yes.
Well, what song is like when you get hype in the morning or get you going? What do you like to hear?
It's that Annie Up. It's that Annie Up to this day, M.O.P.
M.O.P.
But I do want to start. I want to say this. Shout out to my son, Jackson. I love you so much.
What's up, Jack?
What's
What's up, Jackson?
All right now, all right.
Yeah.
And shout out to my son, Francisco, H.U. Bison. It's his birthday today.
You know,
Happy birthday,
happy
Francisco.
birthday,
Much
Bison.
love.
You.
Baby
Oh, yeah.
Bison. You know,
Hey, I'm tired of these HU jokers.
we
I'm telling
represent
you. They all around
all
me.
day.
They all with the H Howard.
What you
You
gonna
with the
do?
Howard.
What you gonna do?
Hey, Norfolk,
you
we
gonna-
in here. Norfolk, say we in
Hey,
here.
HBCU love.
Oh, that's funny that he transferred from Norfolk State.
Okay,
So we get half
we
the
got
love.
half the love.
Half
I take
the
that.
love.
I take that.
Yes.
It's all love.
It's all love. Matter of fact, let's bang this song and we be right back.
Yeah, it is.
All right. You know what I'm saying? So we just chilling now.
I love it. How's my levels? Do it sound like I'm screaming?
I really want you out there. It's not what you used to, but you really need to do this. They love you. Let's do an MOP style.
Yeah?
Let's get hype real quick.
What was that, Shane? 220? 215?
It go every time.
Every time.
It gets you going. Bust the rhyme now. MOP now. What you want now? What you want now?
It go every time.
And,
It's like undeniable
Undeniable.
and timeless.
yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
This song gets you hyped.
Yes.
Let me mind this joint. So New York.
Oh,
This
this
one of my
song
favorites,
is so
all-time favorites.
Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
and the Bronx.
They from Brownsville, yeah, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Pay for that.
And thank y'all for playing this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This one of the favorite songs of the show.
Yeah.
The corridor love this song.
I love it.
We all 7:30. Whether it's June or February, which I take your dough money. Your I don't know money. It's my
All your
favorite part.
money. What?
Blah, blah. Yeah, really got me ready to jump out the window right now. Let's
Yeah. That big energy.
get it. Super good. You still memorizing. Damn
Diamonds.
All right.
All right.
All right, hold on.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that's how you start the show. Now that's the banger right there.
Yeah.
Good choice, Doc.
Thank you.
So y'all can see that the energy is high.
Oh man, we ready to roll.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
So where you from?
Well, first of all, thank y'all for having me.
Oh, man,
And I
man,
must
it's
say
our-
that this is big energy. I'm so grateful to be here. I love it. I could just be with y'all all day.
That's what's up,
There
man.
it
We
is.
gotta
But
hang more
yes.
often.
I am originally from Queens, New York.
Okay.
South Jamaica, Queens, New York. Yep.
All right. So what high school did you go to?
So I went to IS 59. Junior high
I'm not
school.
familiar.
Okay,
Well,
so
I'm learning.
people know, like if you here, around.
Yeah.
And I went to Hillcrest High School.
Hillcrest,
Yes,
what time? That's
Hillcrest
my
High School.
neighborhood out here, so
Yeah,
we
okay,
love
so,
Hillcrest.
So it ring a bell. It ring a bell, and I always say that that's what kind of started. Well, it goes back to elementary school. So I went to elementary school called PS 116, which is about maybe like 7 minutes, like a 7-minute walk from my house, right? But I used to do it independently, unlike what people are able to do nowadays.
Right.
But I remember one day there was like this. You know how they have the people come? What do they call them things? Where the people come and they speak to the kids?
Guess.
Like a career fair, right?
Okay.
Career day.
Yeah, the career day. But everybody was like, chasing like the veterinarian, the doctor, the lawyer. They had this one guy from the bands.
Okay.
And I was just like in awe. Like that was the defining moment that changed my life. I was 10 years old
Right.
in the 5th grade. They sang this song, Music. Music blows my mind. It blows it all the time. Everybody sampled it later.
Okay.
But back then, I was like, oh my God, like you do what? And, I had a love for music at that time. But that kind of was like the spark in elementary school.
Okay.
Yep.
Young mind.
Now, where did the
It was
love for
crazy.
hip hop come from?
So just growing up around that, Queens, New York environment.
Yeah.
And so when I got to high school, I went to Hillcrest High School.
Okay.
And it was just like hip hop all around me, right? And I love telling this story because it's just crazy. What happened was you remember Herbie Azor, so Herbie
Yep,
Love
Herbie
Bug?
Love
Definitely.
Bug.
His
Absolutely.
younger brother Steve went to my school.
Oh.
And so he was kind of like a trendsetter, for all of us. And a bunch of people from my school danced for like Salt and Pepper.
So.
It was insane. And then there's this guy named DJ Johnny Wishbone. He was one of my friends.
Okay.
That he was kind of like the stand-in DJ for Spinderella. So if you go to like, what's that song? Bob Got It Going On with No Job.
Yeah,
Respect
yeah.
yourself, right?
Yeah, respect yourself, yeah.
That song, you could look at him in the video and see. So I call myself managing him when I was like, 11th, 12th grade. I didn't know what I was doing, but I always, like I said, had this infinity for love, for this love for hip hop and the music business. But that was when I was just trying to learn.
Right.
So I remember him bringing me on the train to like Herbie's office to try to talk on his behalf. Like it was
What?
definitely my learning ground, right? And so, but just big shout out to DJ Johnny Wishbone. I always give him credit for being the foundation, for my career. And, in leadership, I knew that I wanted to be in hip hop, but, back then there were no mentors, right? It wasn't like this little black girl, go, come do this. It wasn't like that. It was be, an accountant or a bookkeeper or go work for, the government or go drive a bus. But back then, I had to kind of figure out my way. And so big shout out to DJ Johnny Wishbone for giving me that foot ground. I could sing, like I could spit a hot 16, but I can't spit a hot 16. And so that, that gave me the opportunity to kind of learn what I wanted to do. Yeah. And then I remember having like a talent show, right?
Okay.
And I was a stage manager for the talent show. And I saw...
So you always been in production, like...
Always wanted to be, behind the scenes, but big boss, but behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I remember, how they have like the Grammys from back then, and all of the award shows. I remember seeing like green rooms. So I remember going to McDonald's, which is down the hill from my high school, and asking them to quote unquote sponsor our green room. So I kind of decorated like all these cheeseburgers on the table with fries. And they used to have these big vats of orange drink. Y'all remember those orange drinks?
Yeah.
I told them, could they please like donate the orange drinks? And so I was like, you couldn't tell me nothing about my green room. And so all
That was
these
the first
years
rider,
later,
huh?
you see, that was my first
rider.
Could you imagine? And now all these years later, I could translate that to green rooms for people like, Jay-Z. Wow.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
What's dope about like that story and the fact that you came from that area when you grew up there, that arguably might have like the best MCs or the best like concentration MCs.
Run them down for me a little bit.
I'm LL from Queens.
Love it.
You know
Big
what I mean?
shout out.
Run DMC.
My brothers.
Onyx.
Oh my God, Onyx was one of my first projects.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
My man
I did
Sticky
marketing.
and Fredro.
That was one of my first projects. I remember probably even when I was an intern at Def Jam during that time, they had like a I'll tell you the long story another day, but they had like Sticky, Low Down, Gritty, and Grimy. I remember having to stay like 2 days packing like these bags with like these dirt and these dirt worms in it with the CDs, and I had to deliver them all over New York City. But yeah. And then when I graduated, got a job, I worked Onyx. But go ahead, go with your list.
I can keep going. 50.
Okay.
Salt and Pepper.
Ever.
Salt and Pepper.
Like you said, Herbie Lover, Kid and Play.
Oh,
love
man.
it.
You know what I mean?
Nas.
We can keep going.
Tribe
Nori.
Called Quest, Nori.
Oh, my
Queens.
goodness. Jeez.
Big Queens, not the little ones.
Yeah.
Big Queens.
Queens
Big
made it
Queens.
happen. You know, it's crazy because I went to, we both went to Howard.
Yes,
And,
HU.
you know.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Wait, stop. What's Norfolk State little thing what y'all be doing?
What now? The big thing. First of all, we big boys. Behold the green and gold, and don't forget it.
Y'all got it. Respect.
All right. Behold.
Respect and honor.
Behold.
I love it.
But I had a classmate of mine that you probably know. His name was Ron Lawrence.
Of course, honor.
Yeah.
Honor.
So he would bring
legend.
Salt and Pepper, Herbie Love Bug. Matter of fact, he might be responsible for the go-go sound getting introduced.
To Herbie?
Yeah.
Oh.
'Cause
I believe, yep.
Herbie used to come down to visit him at Howard.
Okay.
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
All of them used to come visit him. But he was from Queens.
I believe that.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
I believe, and I remember hearing a vague story. Somebody said that like recently too, that the infusion, but they shot that video in New York, but the sound that EU sound
Yes,
was infused.
Shake your things.
Yep. So Queens represent
Right.
hip hop. I mean, a lot
and
of
it was
people,
in Coming to America when they was like Queens when they tried
Yep.
Queens all over the place.
Shout out to Jam Master Jay, who
Jam
is
Master
like,
J, R.I.P.
I was just talking about the other day, a whole bunch of stuff, but Jam Master Jay, he's like, one of my oldest and dearest, right? And how we were talking about with my friend Treese, like the soundtrack of our lives, right?
Yeah.
And how he was at a park jam one day DJing, and then rolls up Slick Rick. rolls up Dougie Fresh in one of those Jeeps that don't have a top on it, and they get on stage, and then Run DMC is there. So imagine those like iconic moments.
Yeah.
Man,
It's just like, insane.
that's the dope part about growing up in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And growing up in that close proximity to those people.
Yeah.
You know,
I could never
a-
trade that experience.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to chill with Jam Master Jay. Coolest, down to earth.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't know me from Adam. I wasn't nobody. You
Right,
know what
Was
I
he
mean?
somebody?
Right.
But no, he was the nicest, the sweetest.
cool.
But he definitely has so many people on his back, right?
Yeah.
I remember another story that Parrish Smith from EPMD told me that when they came back from that Run's House tour, Run and them was gracious enough to put EPMD on that tour.
Okay.
And when they opened, they said they went all over the country, just lived their life, right? So he came back, he was sitting on a tour bus somewhere in New Jersey before he came, went home to Long Island. And Jam Master Jay shows up and was just like, how y'all on tour without a DJ? And actually gave them DJ Scratch.
Wow.
Introduced them to DJ Scratch. Yep. I've just heard so many amazing stories.
man.
And I always say that this hip hop has literally been the fabric of my life. I loved all of these stories.
Absolutely.
Oh man, well hold up. Let's pay some bills real quick.
Some
and we'll be
bills.
right back, y'all, with Miss Dr. Young.
I love
go.
it. I'm gonna receive it.
Dr. Young. Let's go.
What's one of your other songs you like? What else we have on the list?
We got,
You can play some
you
Onyx.
said 9:30.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
had Slam, Onyx. At 9:35. Okay.
I always thought like on Onyx, we was talking about artists that got better from the first album to the second album, and I always thought the dark skin one name was it Sensei, not Fredro, not Sticky, but the other
Hold
one.
on. I'm looking at his face.
He was the dark skin one.
Yep. When I remember, I'm gonna tell you. He got better.
He got better.
Yeah.
From that first one to the
I believe
second
you.
one. And I felt like Phife Dawg did the same thing from the very first album, the Low End Theory, is that the first one? To Midnight Marauders. So
No,
yeah,
that's definitely. I believe now that I'm thinking about that.
because
Yeah.
Q-Tip was on that. He damn
He
near
dominated
the
that
whole
first album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
So
We had some
because
classics
it was
though.
4 people.
It was Jerobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided to become a chef.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
He's super popular. They say his food is amazing. Yes, amazing.
Okay.
The last time I saw Onyx was at this they did a Def Jam reunion in Brooklyn at some point. But I saw them and I was just like they still like incredible.
They still look young too.
Yeah.
They do.
They're still incredible.
You know, it's crazy. I met him. So, you remember the BRE? Black
Yes.
Race? So they had it here, right? And this, I always tell this story. It's
What
funny.
year was this?
Oh man, this might have been 90. This when this first came out. Puffy had just got Bad Boy. It hadn't released yet, but they was still out. You know what I mean? And Jamel and Hop was running something, and then Jamel was like, "You wanna, I was like, "Yeah, I got there early."
Yes.
So she was giving me, it was like shifts was changing. So I got all the instruction for the next shift. So everybody thought that I was running things because they was asking me what to do. So I'm telling them I'm doing security for Run DMC because I'm walking, you know what I mean? And they put these buttons next to me, these slam buttons
Oh yeah, the squad
for
in
the
here. What's
Def
up,
Jam
B?
party. And I was
What's
like,
up, baby?
I was there.
What's up,
you was
baby?
there? So I took about 20 buttons.
You still got them?
Nah, you had to use them getting to the party. So I took them home and
Jesse
jammed
don't
them
know
out
about this
with my
joint.
friends, and we went to the
And y'all
Def Jam.
went to the party.
Yep.
I love
And
it.
I met Onyx. Who else performed that night? Third Base performed. Run DMC performed. But everybody was in the party.
Standing in my
I
B-boy
remember that
stance.
vaguely.
That was down on 11th Street.
I vaguely remember that. I had to be there. That I'm trying to figure out what I did during that time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you probably was there because everybody was there. The Def Jam had that party. Nikki D had just came out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Nikki D. She
Nikki
my homegirl.
D. Oh,
I
blocks
love her so
down.
much. She moved from
Man.
Jersey to Queens for a time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nikki D, that was my joint right
That
there.
My
little girl.
homegirl.
Oh, who knew? All right, we ready?
Come back to
Come with
Dion.
me. My bad. I forgot we switched the joint. Yeah, welcome back. You know, I got my boy Troy up in here.
Absolutely.
And we got a legend up in here. You know,
Legendary.
Dr. Jasmine Young.
Yes.
I'm so
Okay.
happy to be here.
Man.
So look, last time we was talking about you went to high school and you went to Hillcrest, one love to them.
Yes.
Now, how did you get to Howard? What made you choose Howard?
So I say that I'm like a classic, which means I'm old school, right? So I keep telling these kids that this was the days before social media, the days before, any type of online activity. So I had heard about this school, Howard University.
Okay.
Probably on the pages of Ebony and Jet back then, right?
Okay.
Or conversations in church or on the street. So there was you had to go to the library and look stuff up.
Right, wasn't no social media, like you said.
Yeah, it wasn't social media. And I just heard about this school that I heard that it was, this place for this black elite, right?
Okay.
Literally, this is what happened. And so I was like, I gotta go there.
Right.
And this is this little black girl from the hood, right? I'm like, oh, I gotta go there. So, I told you that back then it was like this time of practicality for black folks, right? You can go, you can be, a bookkeeper, you could be something stable.
Yeah.
But I just had to go to Howard in my mind. So I told my mother, listen, I only applied to one school, mind you. So I
What?
said, if I don't get into Howard, then I'll just go to CUNY or SUNY. I'm good. I didn't even apply yet. I said, if I don't get into Howard, I will apply to CUNY, SUNY, and I'll just stay. And, my academics was never that, crazy. I'm a great speaker. I'm a great communicator. Academics, I'm a great leader. But I took that little SAT, got in.
Okay.
And, my life changed from there. It was just, I always say that, meeting all the people from all these different diasporas and all these people from all across the world helped to make me or build me into the person or the lady that I am today. And so I got into Howard. I came, and for those of you who know Howard for real, I didn't have housing when I came. I was like, I'm going anyway. That's it. So we pulled up in front of the quad. I remember my mother was just like, if you don't get housing, by today, we're just going to go home. And I was just like, I'm good. I was just going to figure it out.
Okay.
And that's what gave me kind of like, a part of my hustle spirit,
Yeah.
And so later that day, got housing. They was like, we was going to demolish this, but y'all could just move in. Go ahead. So I lived in the quad. I was so happy and humble and grateful.
Yeah.
And so, we had some times back then.
Right.
And thank God they was before social media.
Thank
Yeah.
God. You ain't never lied.
Look, hey, but you know what's crazy? We had other guests on the show from Howard. Tracy
Yes, sir.
Lee was on here.
I love him.
And we all talk about that hustle spirit.
Yes.
The entrepreneurial hustle spirit that you get bred into you. Like
Yeah.
it's poured into you at Howard.
Yeah.
It
So I'm
is.
glad you said that, because that's like, I mean, I don't know. It's just something about Howard University.
But it's that old Howard, though.
The old Howard.
It's the
Okay.
old
Right.
Howard. Yep.
Right.
I'm grateful for those experiences. You had to figure it out.
You had to figure
So
it
speaking
out.
of the old Howard, tell me about the old Howard homecomings.
Oh my
I
gosh.
saw a picture of you taking Biggie to the stage.
Oh my gosh.
When he first came down here in '93.
That was fall of 1993. So the quick story is that, again, I knew that I wanted to be in the music industry,
Right.
and back then it was new even for Howard, right?
Okay, right.
And you have those legends like Ron Lawrence and them two kings in the cipher.
Derek Angeletti, shout out.
Oh my God, we was looking at them like, y'all so dope, like y'all are just amazing, like what y'all doing?
Yeah.
And so literally following in their footsteps. And what happened was one day, this is a true story. I was walking in the School of C, and I saw a sign that says, "Do you want to work in the music business?" And a sign, literally. And I'm like, yeah. And so called the number, showed up at a meeting, and it just so happens to be this guy named Kevin Mitchell. He was the
remember that.
regional back then in D.C. So he worked for
Okay.
Howard. Excuse me, not for Howard, for Def Jam
remember
Records.
that. Okay.
And you remember his name, right?
Yep. And it was Redman was the wasn't that the thing he was pushing? Redman?
We started pushing Redman.
Yep, I remember
and
that.
so
Hey, that's my joke, right, man?
yeah,
His
I
first
remember
album for sure.
It was
one
that
night seeing, this is a true story. I remember this is a sidebar, but I remember one night going to Springfield Park in Queens and seeing Biz Markie bringing a young red man out. But that's a whole nother. Then they start shooting in the park, and that's a whole nother day.
No.
But like those type of stories. But what happened was at Howard, Kevin Mitchell just introduced us to the game for real. And I remember just staying out all night, going to the clubs with him, promoting these songs, promoting these artists with these posters, taking pictures.
Yeah.
And then it was a group of us. So Young Guru,
Young Guru.
was in that group. A guy named there's a guy named Sidney Margetson. He is big publicist in the music industry now. He used to work for Atlantic for 30 years.
Wow.
And James Nice, he lives in Atlanta. He used to manage like all of them Lean With It, Rock With It groups.
Gotcha.
So dope. But that was our little enclave, around that time.
Wow.
And so I remember for homecoming 1993, I was graduating in the spring of that 1994. I wanted to be kind of like the music coordinator. I went out for that position and I didn't get it. And so they were like, you can be the volunteer coordinator. I was just like, say less. I'm going to hustle and make it happen. What are we going to do? And so I literally remember having 300 volunteers, unprecedented for Howard Homecoming. And then I went to Def Jam and was just like, I was interning at Def Jam, and by that summer '93, I had interned at Def Jam.
Oh, okay.
So I interned at Def Jam summer '93. So by the time I came back, I had a little relationship, right?
Right.
And so I said to them, I have 300 volunteers on Howard's campus. Can y'all do the T-shirts? Can y'all do my uniforms?
Okay.
So by that time, Kevin Mitchell had moved to New York. He was the national by that time.
Not regional no more.
He wasn't the regional by that time. Kevin Lyles
Kevin
was
Lyles.
the regional.
Oh.
And so, yep. Big shout out
Wow.
to Kevin Lyles. Could you imagine? Like, this is the true story. And so,
Right.
me and Kevin was in this region, and I remember getting those shirts, putting them on my 300 volunteers. And so, Def Jam was the only label on campus, right, representing with like these, the logos on the shirts, right?
Yeah.
Big orange and green on the back that says staff. And that's what kind of got me my job or made me stand out, right?
Yeah.
So remember, this was the time before emails, before all of this stuff, like
everything.
And so all you had was like, let me just call or let me just snail mail.
Right.
So what
Snail mail. Hold on. What's that?
Snail
Regular
mail.
mail.
Okay.
Regular mail.
mail.
Through the post office.
Through the post office.
Shane, you definitely didn't know that. Don't act like you knew that, Shane.
That's that young, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember when I was about to graduate, this is how I got my job, right?
Okay.
When I was about to graduate, I knew that there was a position open. It was the national director, like college reps. And so I wrote a 21-page, I wish I had it.
Was it double space?
Double spaced in the basement of the School of C. I printed it out and I put it in the mail. I printed out a couple of copies. I put it in the mail and I sent it to Julie Greenwald and Leor Cohen.
Oh,
Y'all know
my
Leor
goodness.
Cohen, who is the
Yeah.
president now of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But he was Russell Simmons' partner at that time. And I sent him this 21-page document or essay or whatever, or why he should hire me. And so he's like, get the girl that used to intern. But when I went up there to interview, he was just like, you can't do that job. That's a job for a man. You could be the promotions coordinator.
Oh.
Shouldn't have said that.
Oh, man.
I made it do what it do, and I was the promotions coordinator, and that's how my career started. Literally,
What?
yep. That's how my career started.
Created your own space and your
What I was
own
gonna do.
opportunity. That's what's up.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. So as you progressed in Def Jam, you started from the bottom, from the floor.
Below the bottom.
Below the bottom.
Below the bottom.
But you worked, you know what I mean? And your story is inspirational because you became an executive.
Yeah, what a blessing, right?
Yeah, what a blessing.
What I said was that, the work, we used to spend night. Def Jam back then, though, was the music industry was a lifestyle back then. People now have learned to have this work-life balance, right? And in my later years, now I do, right? My
Right.
kids, Jackson and Francisco, are my number one priorities, but back then it was my lifestyle. I used to, go days. I have stories of, DMX on the road for days and weeks, and but just sacrificing that time. And I came to Def Jam at a pivotal time when they were growing. So I was able to embrace, I'll take this job, I'll do this, I'll do that. And that's how I was able to grow. So I went from promotions coordinator to marketing coordinator. I was the first marketing coordinator in Def Jam history. And then I became a product manager, second product manager in Def Jam history.
Making history all around the board.
Yeah, shout out to Jason Jackson. I was one of the first black executives on MTV News, talking on behalf of Def Jam. I was, one of the first black executives that was on. DMX talked about me on his diary, Diary 2. They was just how was this black girl getting a whole segment on Diary back then? Because, if you weren't a man, right? Or you wasn't you wouldn't get that shine.
Right.
But I was like, take it out with God. And I was able to grow and learn. I was able, with a whole bunch of mistakes though, definitely was able to grow and learn. And then, just moved up. So, became product manager, I was the general manager for DMX's label at a time, but was fortunate to, helped him to launch that, but was fortunate to work with these artists that we didn't know was going to be these superstars. I mean, I can tell you the stories of how I was quote unquote assigned, right? DMX assigned Jay-Z, and I didn't know, that they were going to be the hottest thing ever, and I was working them simultaneously. So I always say that these stories that I could tell you the stories about how I was just staying up all night working these projects. Somebody texted me one of my old marketing plans. I don't have any of that stuff, right?
But not
no.
Oh,
and
that's
so
worth money now.
That's worth some good money now. And I'm like,
a Def
what the
Jam
heck?
sticker from 1990.
Who knows? Just fortunate enough to, grow and, take advantage of these projects. And I was able to, and I was just saying, when we were doing the work, I didn't know it was going to be iconic, right? We just knew that we was just, I was just this little black girl from South Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, man.
More than that. And the cool thing, you also took Bloodline as DMX into the film industry.
Yeah.
Which is dope. Doing
Which was
some
insane.
soundtracks.
So you did that. Thank you for sometimes people don't.
That's what we
Y'all did y'all
I'll research.
This the hip hop corridor.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yes. So I remember I was the product manager for DMX at the time, and just became family. And big shout out to Rough Riders. I'm still Rough Riders fam to this day. You can always email me Jazz at Rough Riders. I always say I still got my Rough Riders email. Big shout out to Y and the family and Uncle Ray. We're actually doing a DMX Day, December 21st in Mount Vernon.
Okay, money earning.
Celebrating DMX. And I'll send everybody some invitations. But the moral of the story is that I remember, all of these specific instances that brought us to the point, right? And so I said, when I became the general manager, we had to do something. We were like the little engine that could. Like, I think that at one point they gave it to him, like, shut up, right? Like, take this, right? But, we at least did something.
Yeah.
And so we did, I remember DMX getting this role and then me sitting on the set. So I remember now sitting on Joel Silver's jet. Joel Silver did The Matrix and going to his office at Warner back then. But not really appreciating it and being grateful. But I didn't appreciate a lot of those 24-hour set days.
Right.
But just learned the movie business back then. And so we're let's just get some music going that fits these these scenes.
Yeah.
And was able to executive produce a gold selling plaque.
Talk that.
Executive producing, and I think that was my first, executive producing title, in the business, but as the general manager of Bloodline. And so, shout out to DMX for just trusting me, until the end.
Yeah.
And
Man,
still,
Man, hold on. We want to hit some DMX right now. So you got me hyped. So
Oh
we're going to
my
play some
God.
DMX and we'll be right back.
Let's do that.
shout out to X.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
1350.
Could you imagine?
Man. X.
Jackson.
Come on, son. This is a long commercial ever. Cause I wanted to ask you about when you was cause I know you was working with Rough Riders and Rockefeller at the same time. What in the world was that like? And how was it like trying to get artists to do come to a photo shoot or wear certain clothes or
So I remember this one time, X was sleep at a photo shoot, right? And Leora Cohen comes in, was just like, look at you, you're like the Jewish grandmother, like oblivious to all of the bullshit, right? And it was kind of, true, and I just had to just do what I had to do, right? So a lot of it was like earning the trust of the artist and almost living with them, literally at the time, literally. Like I remember just, come on, let's just do it. He's like, if I do it, you gotta do it. Okay. So I remember being in one of them, what are those, it was like a Saturday Night Live interview that he didn't want to do. And then I just, I remember just staying with him, 24 hours a day. I remember putting him on like a jet going. So like, it was just always our plan A, B, and C, with X, right? Jay's personality was just like, super different.
Okay.
He was always more like, always. And, I remember one time, I was the go-between at one point, right? I remember Rockefeller, they had a separate office, but I remember them sending me downtown to tell them, I think it was a cover of either Rolling Stone or like Billboard, and they were saying that that Jay had to share the cover. And he was just like, I'm not sharing the cover. And I was just like, this is a great opportunity, whatever. Because that's what I was, told to go mediate with. Right. And then what happened was I ended up, going back and forth with them. And then they finally gave him the cover, by himself. So lessons like that, But, I learned a whole bunch, working both of those teams, both of those dynamics. And big shout out to Lenny S. From Rock Nation. He is the senior vice president over there now. He also manages DJ Khaled. Okay. And he's actually our center's executive in residence this year, but he's my friend. And then he came down and that's what he just said on his, he has like 800,000 followers, something ridiculous. Like, he's this celebrity. Right. But he said, how was it, working the two most important acts in hip hop at the same time? Like, nobody was able to do that. Right. And I was just like, again, what happens is, when you're doing the work, you don't realize it's iconic.
You're just doing it.
You just doing it. And then now, look at hip hop.
I know, right?
Hip hop. And look at you.
Oh my God, what a blessing.
Man.
All right, Shane, we ready for you, baby.
Back on me.
Back on trouble, yeah.
Welcome back.
Yes, indeed.
Man.
Oh, man.
So, look, I want to add a couple more adjectives to Joyce Young.
Jazz.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
thinking Jazz Young. Trailblazer.
Trailblazer.
I hold that. Thank you.
Because man, y'all don't hear all that we hear.
Right.
You know what
Unless
I mean?
you tune into the YouTube.
Exactly. Then you can get the behind the scenes. Yeah. But she is a trailblazer.
Wow,
you know what I mean?
you.
And a pioneer.
Wow, thank you. I hold that too.
and you got to. But we always talk about how great women are and what women have done for this industry. They don't get a lot of credit.
Right.
But just listening to you and hearing some of the stories that's only on YouTube, you can check them out. You created like or you are responsible. I'm not gonna say created. You are responsible for some of the greatest careers that we know in hip hop today.
Could you imagine?
Listening to it, I'm like, wow, how did you do
this? This is amazing.
DMX, Jay-Z.
Right. Foxy
Brown.
All of those, every single Foxy Brown project.
EPMD.
To
Onyx.
this day.
Right. Now, out of all those artists, which ones you like working with? Or what? No, this is a two-part question.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh. Which one was the hardest one to work with? Let's start with that. Which one?
Jesus. I want to say they were all, this is the diplomatic answer, right?
Respect.
They were all valuable, in the process of hip hop.
Right.
And they were all, pioneers in their time. I have so many valuable stories and lessons from all of those projects, right?
Right.
I want to say that, DMX, I love you. I miss you so much. I'm still mad that you left me, but at the same time, just working close, all of those years, and then escalating from product manager to general manager. I learned so much, but I learned so much from everyone. Slick Rick, Slick Rick is my kid's godfather.
Oh,
That's literally how, hip hop has impacted my life, and I've made people that became literally family, if that makes sense. So Mandy, who's his wife, and Rick are literally my kids' godparents. So at the end of the day, I've learned so many lessons, being in hip hop for 30 plus years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We always talk about hip hop as a culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's more than just music. It's more than just a music genre. That it's something that you live, something that you wear. You know what I mean? And when I say wear, I don't mean the clothes on your back.
Right.
I just mean the attitude that you carry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to hear your stories, but to hear you talk about how hip-hop basically shaped your life from age 10
It did.
to now is incredible. And I think we all kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, we can test to that for
Yeah,
sure. For
absolutely.
sure, definitely me. I've been loving hip hop since the beginning.
Yeah, I always say I'm first generation
Yeah.
hip hop because I can remember when it was no rap music on the radio, and the only time you could hear rap music, was if you had a tape until Sugar Hill came out. After Sugar Hill came out,
Right.
and it started being introduced to the world.
Right.
Could you imagine? Thank you to all those pioneers and
Absolutely.
trailblazers
Yeah.
who just, had it in them to really push it. And I always say how hip hop has come so far, right? Now they got a $65 million museum that they're opening in the Bronx.
Wow.
To highlight, these
Hip-hop.
stories,
Yeah.
which is
Well-deserved.
insane.
Yeah.
We
Shout
need
out to Rocky and his team.
Okay.
Shout out to Rock. We need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, think about it. Hip-hop has elected presidents.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
True
You know what I
story.
mean?
Yeah.
So, look, I'm glad. I didn't know about
story.
that museum, but I'm glad
Yeah.
you told
So
me.
look, all the great stuff we have learned about, what I'm saying, that all the great stuff, all the great stories, the hip hop. So currently,
Yes, sir.
as of right now, this a guy named Julian Petty.
Yes.
What does he mean to you?
Oh my God, that's my little brother and my boss.
All
What's
in
up,
one.
boss? Shout out. Yes. I'm gonna rewind the tape real quick and I'll tell the story. So what happened was when I got the job right at Def Jam, it was literally 1994, right? So
Okay.
I got this job at Def Jam, and I came back. You could tell I'm a talker, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I was asked to come back to Howard University and do a panel.
Okay.
So it was in the School of Business, and someone tapped me on my shoulder and asked me for an internship. And by that time, it was 2 years later, I was like, handling all the interns for Def Jam.
Okay.
And so I remember sitting outside of Julie Greenwald's office. By that time, I think we had moved to Varick Street. That's a whole nother story. If you've heard about Varick Street, which was next door to Chung King Recording Studio.
Oh, I know what Chung
I got
King.
so many, stories, but shout out to Julian Petty because he tapped me on my shoulder one day. I gave him an internship. He was my intern for that summer. And he remembers a lot more of the story, but he is now one of the biggest and was the first Black head of business and legal affairs for any record label
That's
in
right.
the entire world.
Shout out to Julian. Shout out.
So shout out to Julian. He is the senior vice president of business and legal affairs for Warner, right?
Yes,
Shout
yeah.
out to Julian Petty, my big boss, my big boss. But this is the true story. What happened was we've been, connected all these years. He graduated. He went on to, he actually worked for Londell at some point, Macmillan, at the Source magazine. Well, the legal side.
Yeah.
And then Londell, just a beast as well. I got to stop the mic for Londell real quick. Michael Jackson, Prince, the greats, and a part of history too.
Absolutely.
But we say that Julian was our this child that we birthed. But Julian is rich and huge, right?
Yeah.
And so he is done some amazing things with some amazing artists over the years. He is a brilliant business mind. So in addition to him being the senior vice president of business legal affairs for Warner, he and his beautiful wife Janelle also own one of the hottest stores in was it not La Brea, but it's in LA. It's called All Chill, which is a hip hop ice cream shop.
Oh, really?
Huge! It's so dope.
Oh, that's what's up.
So dope.
Gotta check
but what
that
happened
out.
was one day, yeah, please, it's so dope. And so what happened was one day he calls me. He's just like, I got this idea of this center at Howard, and he was just like, it's kind of like the work we've been doing, giving students opportunity.
Yeah.
And he sends me this brain dump, and he was just like, would you leave New York? But by that time, I was a full professor working for Monroe College, which is now Monroe University, which is the largest urban provider outside of CUNY and SUNY in New York, right?
Okay.
They have, I started to say we, but I don't work there anymore. But big shout out to Monroe College as well. But they have a campus in New Rochelle and in the Bronx. So by that time, I was the administrator for the School of Business. I worked right under the dean. Like literally, I was the face of the school.
What?
So he was just like, teaching business classes, marketing, entrepreneurship, intro to business, all of those classes. And so Julian was just like, would you, leave and come start? And I was just like, I'm on the fence. My kids, I didn't want to kind of uproot them. We live in New Jersey.
Right.
And so I said yes.
Can't forget New Jersey. I
Yeah,
always say that.
can't
every
forget
time.
New Jersey. And so 2 years ago, I came, August 2nd of 2022, walked back home into Howard.
Okay.
Howard just, opened up their arms, welcomed me with open arms.
Yeah.
I walked into a blank slate, which is this Warner Music Blavatnik Center for Music Business. And it's been my baby. Like, it's literally been our baby.
Oh, man.
Tell us about the curriculum, what you teach the kids there.
Yeah.
So we always say that the music industry as a whole failed Black people in general, right? So in terms of the Black music executive, how do we cultivate the next generation of success? How do we empower, educate, excite the next generation and train Howard University students to be social justice warriors in the music business? So that's been the premise of my work. And thank God for, Julian and Lynn Blavatnik and Camille Hackney and Eric Wong and that whole team that, granted us this money so that we can have the tools, the necessary tools, so that we can level the playing field, so that when students walk out of Howard, they got the tools that they need.
Right.
And, I had this vision, right? I did my little plan, and then it just impacted, God was just like, boom! And so my wildest dreams, literally my wildest dreams. So here we are. I'm now in, this is my third year here, right?
Okay.
And we have been consecutively considered by Billboard magazine as one of the top music business schools in the world.
Man.
It straight up bring me tears.
Yeah, I feel you.
Literally.
'Cause that's dope, man.
Big shout out to Billboard. Thank you so much for the acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
But our curriculum is designed to, support these students. We teach classes from, Black entrepreneurs in the music business. We teach the basics, Music Business 101. We have
Yeah.
textbooks. We're serious. We have textbooks. We have uniforms. We have modules. We're very serious on Howard University's campus with training the next. And it's proved. We have literally, I have students, this is a true story, right? This is how you know people are watching you. I get a random call one day from millennial Generation Z, young girl,
young.
right? And she's just like, I've been watching you, right? Well, I've been watching your work. I'm impressed. I'm hiring for an assistant band manager for The Tonight Show with Stephen Colbert. And I'm like, what? Are you serious?
What?
And so I said, thank you so much for trusting us with talent. And I sent her 4 people to interview. She loved one of my students and hired him and called him on Zoom with the whole band. So Gideon, right, who graduated from my program last year, is now... not this year, 2024. Last year, he is now the assistant band manager for The Tonight Show with Stephen Colbert.
What?
That's one of our success stories.
Oh,
major,
that's tough.
major. So
Yeah.
we have students at Live Nation.
Okay.
We have students at Wasserman. We have students at UTA as agents. We have students everywhere.
That's incredible.
And I'm
man.
just so grateful for Julian, for the Blavatniks, for Howard, for understanding, the call and the purpose. But thank you for everyone, from DJ Drama to IDK to everyone, every artist. So this has become the hub, right? Just like, how people come to DC, they have the rounds.
Right.
The rounds is Howard University.
Yeah.
We have a little, you got to come visit us. We have like this little,
absolutely.
it looks like a little mini record label. And then we're
Okay.
also opening a recording studio in Blackburn Center. So state of the art. Shout out to
Y'all doing
Dr. Watson and Caleb from my office. They, it's beautiful, and it's like a mural of all the artists, the legacy artists, to the new artists. It's really a special time.
Oh man,
That's incredible.
That's
and
what's up,
I'm
man.
so proud.
Oh man, I bet y'all should be proud, man.
so
Howard
proud.
is doing their
We
thing,
hustling,
man. You know what I'm
hustling.
saying? For sure, man.
That is incredible.
Oh man, is there
Man.
anything else you want to say, Miss Doctor? Not Miss.
So that's the preemptive, right? And so what happened was I decided to finally, because of my 30 years in the music industry, I was able to teach at places like, Metropolitan College in the grad program. I taught at the Institute of Audio Research. People don't believe, I'm full, real deal. I'm just this hip-hop girl that speak and talk good. Real deal professor, a decade of real coursework and supporting students, teaching on a graduate level. And so what happened was when I came back to Howard, I came out of the classroom to be the director of this program, right?
Yeah.
I did a favor for a friend one day. She was just like, I'm hosting these people from Ghana. Could you host them? And I'm like, yeah, we'll host them, whatever you need. Big shout out to Dr. Clark. I talked about this hip-hop conference we're doing. She's our partner in the hip-hop conference. But I ended up hosting an artist from Ghana called Manifest.
Okay.
It turned out to be an exchange with the government of Ghana. So every year during February, they bring an artist over.
Nice.
And so I remember that I'm going on 2 years relationship with the government of Ghana. I have no respect of person. You remember we talked that day? I'm hugging and I'll talk to you, whatever.
Right.
That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's just, I treat the doorman like the president like whatever. I hug, I talk.
Yeah.
No, respect of that, whatever that's called, respect of person, right? So what happened was I didn't know that I was hosting the government of Ghana. I just thought it was some Ghana people.
Yeah.
And so they're like, come up here, take a picture, say a speech and, welcome the people. And so 3 days later, I get a link and it's 15 different press outlets. We made the cover of every Ghanaian paper. And I'm like, oh. So when I was doing research, nice folks, but, CEO of Travel and Tourism, Director Beyond the Return for the government of Ghana. So if you've seen anybody to go to Ghana, they're the approvers and the hosts.
Okay.
Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
So we developed this relationship, and then they invite me to go speak, not this past summer, the summer before last. And I'm like, I can't go. I'm like, and it was my first time in Ghana, right? And so I was like, I can't go. I just can't go. And so they're like, no, we told everybody you were coming. You got to come. And so I was the keynote speaker for their Panifest, right? Which is one of their music culture, right? Learns all about, culture conferences. So I learned all about Panifest. I spoke, ended up back on TV. I was like, oh my God, it's real deal, right?
Yeah.
And so, but speaking to the people and learning, they shut down the airport for me, sent the government car to pick me up at the airport,
Oh, you was doing
serious.
it. I know you was feeling.
I'm like, oh. And so I did a talk for them. It was like these, about what does Ghana need, right? And so I know we're pressed for time, but I just want to definitely shout out what happened in the interim. What we did was they said that Ghana needs, music, the music business, education. They have artists, if one artist out of 100 or 1,000 may be successful. But what happens to the other artists? How can they monetize? And how can we bring a, industry to Ghana? So I worked with, them, became the co-founder, literally, of what we call the West Africa Music and Arts Festival. Everybody goes to Ghana during December, right? And then they have the Panifest during July. And so I said, let's do something, during a time when nobody else is there. And I picked, Juneteenth And so
Okay.
it's a 4-day festival, conference, educate. It was, and I was just like, oh, I did the thing with that.
Yeah.
And so we did this 4-day conference, and it was bigger than my wildest dreams. So this was our first year, bigger than our wildest dreams. And what we did, the minister showed up, the new minister of arts and culture. We are partnering with the government, the CEO of Travel and Tourism, a young lady by the name of Annabelle McKenzie. She is the director of Year of Return. But we built this 4-day conference that just, was explosive. And like 20,000 people showed up. Big shout out to, YFM, the biggest radio station out there. They built a stage in the middle of literally the radio station is in a mall, right? Then they built a stage and an area outside in the parking lot. I blinked and we had 20,000 people show up. It was the best night.
That's crazy.
All of these artists showed up, but the moral of the story is that we are building a foundation for education and global connectivity, and putting this relationship on a global stage and being a key player in that way. And so again, it was my wildest dreams, and so that's kind of became one of my passions, and that's what we've been working on. So now we're on year 2.
That's
Man,
incredible.
what?
That is incredible. And the oh my goodness, just the symbolism of it being on Juneteenth.
We marched
in Ghana.
In Ghana,
we
right?
marched.
Yeah.
I was boo crying. So I cry, right? I'm a cry. I'm emotional. I'm a cancer. But just we the Saturday, right, of our last day, we marched with the African American Alliance. So there's a bunch of they don't call them expats. They call them, I forgot what they called them, but basically they moved. But they dope a group of dope folks, right? And so glad, and we marched with them to, not me because my knee is messed up, but we rode. But they marched, right? 3 miles from. They have like an office, but when I remember, but the memorial, and they marched to the offices on that Juneteenth day.
Man,
That's deep.
oh my goodness, this has been a pleasure.
Man, what?
Honor and a pleasure.
Honor and a
We
pleasure.
had a good old time.
Oh man, we
Man.
gotta do this
Interview
again.
over already?
I mean, it don't have to
we
be.
keep telling Shane we need 2 hours. They
That
only
is
give us an
crazy.
hour right now. We're working
Right.
on trying to get
we,
2
we
hours.
trying.
I blinked.
We still would love to get into music with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your favorite artists and all of that. So you might have to come back.
Yeah.
I just love it. I just love it.
Or
I just love it.
maybe, how about this?
Uh-oh.
Maybe we can come to you
Yes.
and maybe do like
do
a
it at
remote.
your
better.
do
So
it
I'm
at
looking
your side.
Look, I'm looking at Shane. Maybe
Yeah.
do like a remote
Let's do it.
show over at the
We have
the
to do it.
Botanic. Yeah.
It would be so dope. We have a space.
Talk to some kids.
Yeah.
talk to some
Yeah.
kids.
Let's do this.
All right, we're gonna
let's
put it
put it
through.
on the schedule. One quick. We got 1 minute, right?
Yeah, we got-
Big
yeah.
shout out to Angela Winbush.
Oh,
Oh my gosh! So years
love
later,
Angela Winbush.
I found out that she's a bison. Did you know that?
I knew she was a bison.
I didn't know that.
Years later, I find out, and she gonna say real nonchalant to me one day that she wrote Angel when she was an undergrad.
That's like
I'm
one of my favorite joints.
I wanted to slam the phone.
Angel, you know what
I
I'm
was like,
saying?
yo, you did what?
The music lineage at Howard University is crazy.
It's unmatched.
I'm
I'll give
talking
it to
about
y'all
from
for that.
Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, Angela
right, you good.
Winbush. I mean, we could keep going on.
Yeah.
So it's, man.
That's one of my Could you imagine? I gave her an award. I'm like, you so fly. Please
Yeah, she is.
hold this.
She is
Oh
that.
man. Well, anything you want to go off? Any music
I
you want
just
to go
wanted
off to?
to play me some Run DMC.
Absolutely.
If you got some, play me 50
we got whatever
Cent.
you want.
Play me anything. I'm just so happy to be here. I just want to thank you guys so much for
Oh,
this
man.
wonderful,
thank you.
lively
Thank you.
conversation.
This has been our pleasure. We welcome. Hey, the corridor was on fire. That's what we always say when it's jumping. But you, I mean, man, you blessed us today.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Thank
blessed
you
for
so
y'all
much,
presence.
man.
Thank you for having me.
And we're gonna set this interview up for the next time. We gotta get that
Absolutely.
ASAP.
When y'all coming? Let's talk. Let's definitely talk.
We're
and
gonna make it
plan.
happen.
We're gonna make
we
it
can
happen.
do it soon.
Yes.
We can do it
yes.
ASAP.
Well, I'm Dove,
And I'm Troy.
and thanks for checking us out on the Hip Hop Corridor.
96.3 HD4.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dr. Jazz.
Thank you.
All right.
And final shout out to my kids, Jack and Francisco. I love you.
Yeah.
All right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, for
you.
sure, for sure.
All
Dope.
right.
Yes, indeed.
We're not playing that much music, Shane. We only got 3 songs, so we should be cool, right?